Hello, testing. Hope I'm coming in. Here we go. Let's see. Volkswagen, Clifford Longhead. Hey, Blondie's here. Charlie. All right. We got some people in. All right. As mentioned before, we're going to be animating Sam and Luna. This was actually something that was requested from one of our $20 patrons on Patreon. Um, Thank you for that reminder, Blondie. I'm doing fine, and I hope my voice is coming in clearly. Trying a different mic today. Oh, let's see. I wish I could speak Spanish. Usually, when I get Spanish or Portuguese comments on YouTube, I have to put them through Google Translate. So I'm sorry if I can't respond directly to your comments today. Uh, all right, and only one person. I always get those comments in Emma, and I'm never sure what that means. All right, so today we're going to be using mostly motion tweens for this simple animation. You can see right here we got Luna smelling a flower, not aware that her girlfriend Luna is on the, what is this part of the flower? The pistil? Um, Basically we already have these rigs set up from earlier. So this is just Sam's right here. And we have different um, layers for shading for her nose. And I guess this could just be labeled as the rest of Sam. Um, and we also have um, a layer here for Luna, and that's separated into the flower thingies. What about the Sam I Am? Isn't that from Dr. Seuss? All right, so we have our assets here. What I'm going to do is add some frames. So I'm going to estimate this to be about 4 seconds long. So uh, highlight at 4 seconds right here on the timeline. Insert frame. And we want to do that with all the layers. It's going to be about 4 seconds. And we can start with a simple motion tween for Sam. Just right click on the Sam asset, create motion tween. Um, See this white dot right here when you make a motion tween, that's going to be the anchor. So what does the anchor do? It's an anchor. It basically um, is going to be where the focus is when you're doing the tween. So right now I have it right here in the center. So if I'm moving the tween askew, she's going to move like that, or move around in a circle like that. If I have the anchor point right here, that's going to change how far she leans when I move her about. And since she's going to be moving ever so slightly, I'm going to have my anchor point down here. If you're doing a motion tween for your assets, you can play around with where the anchor point goes. All right. And for the full 4 seconds, I'm going to have her sort of leaning back like she's taking a big whiff of the flower. So you can see if you have your cursor here at the starting point, you press enter on the keyboard and you could test out the animation that way. So very slight movement right now. Let me take a look at the comments here. Can you draw a warsaurus? Not going to be drawing anything today, mostly just working with motion tweens to animate these existing assets that we have. All right, and isn't Sam's girlfriend in the Loud House? Yes, that's that's the series these characters are from. All right. Um oh, need to add 4 seconds of frames here too. So there we go. So this movement looks pretty plain. So what we're going to do, we're going to click into the asset, click into it again. And now I can manipulate the individual little parts like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the nose here by clicking on it, clicking on all the parts, make that into a graphic. So right click, convert to symbol. I'm going to call that Sam's nose. It's a graphic. Anchor point down here. Right click, make that into a motion tween. And we're going to have her nose moving ever so slightly. We're going to click on the line right here. See how it makes not sure how to describe that symbol. Looks like half an arrow going one way, half an arrow going the other way, but when it's like that, we can slant our asset like that. So we're now adding a slight slant to the nose as she's moving her head back. So now when we test it, we can see not only is her head tilting back, but also her nose is moving at a slanty motion. So let's get it like that. It's looking better. And we could add more to it. We could always go back and add more. For example, we could make the nostrils sort of flare a bit as she's sniffing. And again, I'm clicking into the nose, and now we see the individual parts again. We could add another 4 seconds of frames right here. Hi, Emily. Oh, getting a lot of people asking, can I draw this? Can I draw that? Um, the best way to get me to draw something is subscribe to our Patreon, and sometimes we'll hear suggestions there, but um, especially people in the $20 Patreon tier, we draw stuff for them, we animate stuff for them. All right. Um, let's see. So we have one layer for the nose here. Nose. One layer for the nostril. We'll say that's nostril 1. And nostril 2. And right now each nostril is just pieces. So again, I could convert those to graphics. Like that. And we're going to create a motion tween for each one. Anchor point down here again. Go to the end of the 4 seconds. We're going to insert keyframes. And again, we'll slant these a little bit. We'll, clicking here, you can see the up and down arrow. We can make these flare up like that. And if it looks like it's too much, we could always adjust it. Oh, I don't know my dinosaurs so good. I'm sorry. I just know T-Rex and Brontosaurus, Raptors, all the ones that you see on Jurassic Park, like the first movie. All right, so simple nostril flare like that. And then we go to the top layer and we can see all the animations coming together. All right. Um, and we could add more details to it later, like if any of y'all played Kirby games, we can add a layer for, let's see, where would be a good place to put that layer? We'll put it here. I'm gonna say air particles. And just using simple drawing tool, oval tool, make little particles of air. What if Sonic is in the Loud House universe? Uh, I don't know. I can't imagine them in the same universe. I guess after watching the we're gonna make this one 1 second long. After watching the Casa Grande's movie, it looks like the gods are able to open portals to different Nickelodeon series. So there's that. All right, this is where I'm going to get lazy and we have some air particles here. I'm just going to create um, motion tween with them. So right click, create motion tween, right click, create motion tween. And just at the end of the 1 second for this simple animation, this simple air particle graphic, at the 1 second mark right here where the cursor is, I can decide which direction these particles will go. I could also shrink them down as they're getting closer to the nostril. Curiosity, animator, have you ever seen or perhaps heard of the movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Yeah, I remember that movie. Uh, remember Sean Connery being in it, and I believe that was the movie he chose to end his career with. And I was gonna say some stuff about the movie, but I don't want to say any spoilers. Yeah, I remember it. All right, so just simple little animation of air particles flying in. And because it's a graphic, it will repeat at every 1 second. And if I'm looking at it and I think that looks a little bit too slow, what I can do is cut the frames like that, highlight them, remove frames, and now it'll move faster. To make them look more like air or dust, I can also right click, properties, color effects, alpha, and make them less visible. The Utah Raptor is bigger than a Velociraptor. I don't want to be living in Utah then. That could be bad. Utah Raptors. Oh my. Is that a team? The Utah Raptors. All right. And what I'm going to also do is I'm going to copy and paste so that I have two versions of the air particles. And for one of them, I'm going to click on properties. And where it says first frame, I'm going to adjust that so it's fifth frame. And now I have one set of my air particles graphics starting at frame one, and one of them starting at 5. So it adds this effect. You get twice as many air particles now. Hey, Rover. No, it's okay. You're just in time. We've only been doing this for about 10 minutes, but already we have a very um, nice, simple animation here of Sam sniffing the flowers. Now, another thing I can do to add a little bit more variation to these air particles going in, I have one graphic here, one graphic here. What I can do is right click and duplicate it. And now with a duplication, I can change the position ever so slightly of the air particles like that. And now I have more variation for the air particle animation. And we could always add more details. We can make them look fuzzier. We could turn them into lines. All right. And now for Luna. Let's see, what can we do? All right. So for Luna, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to do a motion tween, and we have the anchor at her fingertips right here because that will be where she's holding on to. So we can have her moving around up and down, back and forth. Hey, Magic Quill. Um, Now what I want to do is I'm going to say for the first 3 seconds, I'll put a keyframe at 3 seconds. She'll be moving back and forth from holding on. Added a keyframe in the middle here. So she's moving slightly up and then back to her position. What we can do is copy the frame at her first position, copy properties, and paste those properties at the 3 second mark. And then at the 3 second mark, we're going to have her let go. And let's say these many frames, we're going to have her disappear into her girlfriend's nose. So keyframe here, and then we'll move her to this position like that. And we want the line, you can see the line here, to sort of line up with the direction of her arms and legs, just so that it looks better like that. Also want to point out that Tyrannosaurus did actually live with the Triceratops and the Ankylosaurus. Thank you, random guy, for the dinosaur facts. Dinosaur facts, they help us learn. Dinosaur facts. All right, and since she's disappearing up the nose right here, we could remove the rest of the frames. So, and insert a blank frame like that. And then we could watch our animation progress. Right. So, for these frames right here, we want to make it look like she's disappearing inside the nose. So, this frame looks right. This frame, of course, this part should be disappeared. So one thing we can do, click in here, click here. We won't click too many. All right, so we have our isolated Luna frame right here. It's the only frame we can see right now. I clicked off the flower and the flower thingies. And above Luna, we're going to make a mask layer. We're going to insert keyframe into this first frame right here where we can see, her legs are supposed to be disappeared. And we're going to draw a shape. We could use rectangle tool, oval tool, whatever. Have you heard of steamed hams from The Simpsons? Who hasn't heard of steamed hams from The Simpsons? That's such a fun little skit. All right, and what we're going to do, as you can see, I made the mask layer transparent so we see, what we're drawing it over. And since I'm using a mouse, I can click on the points on the edges to get the exact shape that I want. So for our mask, what we want is a shape that is going to cover Luna, but not the parts that we want to disappear. And then to test it, we lock the mask layer, lock the Luna layer. Oops, I'm sorry, I just wrote mask, but I didn't right click on the mask layer and make it a mask by clicking here. All right, so as you can see, we covered up the parts we want to stay visible, the rest is going to become invisible, and we test that by clicking lock on the mask layer and the masked layer. So as we can see, she's disappearing into it. Okay, now for the next frame, we see more of hers disappeared in here. What we're going to do, actually, I think we could use the same mask. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Wait, I thought a girl was hosting the channel. I'm confused. Uh, yeah, we have a mascot. That would be Jackie, voiced by our friend Maxstar. But the lowly animator, the one what animates. All right, so here's the what we have so far. We can see getting better and better. There she goes. Um, Something we can do is go to Tools, click on oh, it's going to add a camera, but sorry. Still working out some little kinks with Animate 2024. Uh, Need to, here we go, use advanced layers. All right. When you use advanced layers, you can do different little things like using the camera. So click on, after advanced layers are turned on, click camera. We're going to make the camera layer right here on the top into a motion tween. And from there, we can actually zoom in the focus. So we can have it focused on Luna since she's all teeny tiny. Zoom out, we're going to say maybe for 2 seconds. Insert keyframe at 2 seconds. Use the camera tool to back it up. Back it up. So you have like a nice little camera effect like that. All right. So the animation for Luna right now, it's pretty stiff, I'd say. Just like that. Oops. And we could actually click inside of our Luna asset. We're going, as you can see, I have it separated into different layers for the arm, head, torso, skirt, and legs. I'm gonna add some frames again for 4 seconds. And we're going to make the, as you can see, right now it's all just individual shapes. I'm going to click on them, convert them into graphics. Yeah, if you click on the layer, like I'm clicking on the layer for her head, it highlights all the pieces right there. Convert that into a graphic. Luna's head. Just converting it all into graphics. Luna's torso. Thank you, Teddy Queen, even though we haven't really added too much animation to it. Like I said, the animation we have for right now is pretty static, but we can make improvements. That's and we're going to motion between them all, and that's basically how I animate when I'm doing flash animation like this. It's starting with a foundation, building up, and making little improvements as you go along the way. Again, so this is going to be 3 seconds, so I'm going to put a keyframe here. Going to put a keyframe in the middle. So this is 32, so the middle would be 36. And highlight the 3 layers, or the 5 layers. Insert keyframe. Did you know Adobe Animate can convert motion tween to frame by frame? Yes, I do that from time to time if I need to. Graham Pisky. I hope I'm saying that right. Can't wait to see this one when it's ready. Um, well, it should be ready by the end of the day, and I'll post it on my Patreon when I have the remaining Patreon requests completed. Pingas, thank you for that, Ronald. All right, so for the middle keyframes here, you can have her different body parts moving, swaying ever so slightly. Start going up. So getting a little bit of extra motion going on here. I can click inside the leg layer here, add 4 seconds worth of frames, keyframe at 3 seconds, and I can move the individual parts. So I'll click on like just her foot right here, right click, motion tween, same with this foot right here, right click, motion tween. I'm going to put the anchor at the ankle of her foot. Keyframe at 3 seconds. And then in the middle of this, I can have her feet swaying as well. So it adds again another layer of motion. We see Luna and Sam's body. She explored a fine way out like Indiana Jones. Um, not sure if Luna would be having an Indiana Jones style adventure. All right, so we have our extra little bit of motion. As you can see, she's swaying more. Now, I like to think, looking at this and wonder, what other kind of emotions would there be in this kind of windy situation? And one thing we can do is add motion to the hair. So we're gonna click, click, double click. Now we're isolated into just Luna's head. As you can see, the different individual parts for each piece of hair right here. And we're going to motion tween each one, create motion tween, motion tween, motion tween. Do, do, do. Put our anchors on the far side corner here because they're attached to her scalp. So her scalp would be like right there. Yes, I have seen the new Indiana Jones movie. Had some fun action scenes. Create a insert keyframe at the 3-second point. Insert keyframe in the midpoint. And we could always move that frame. We could adjust it, highlighting it and then moving it left or right with the mouse. Yes, it does take some effort to make an animation, but when you're doing Flash style animation, we can take some shortcuts, like the motion tweens. Pretty decent shortcut. All right, now her hair's got some flair. Miles, hey, how's it going? All right, here's what I got so far, Miles, since you're just tuning in. Very simple animation. Another thing we can do, if we're playing around with the camera, we can have our focus on everything right here, everything on display. And then at the 2-second point, uh, using our camera tool, zoom in on Luna. We could have focus in the middle right here, so we have Sam's nose on one side and Luna on the other side, like that. Yeah, different ways we can play around with the camera. Let's see. See some comments there that I'm going to ignore for obvious reasons. All right. Let's see. I hope that's a sneezing flower, sneezy flower. That's always a possibility. All right. So we have a pretty decent animation going. I'd say effective. And like I always say, we could always go back and make improvements. So for one example, I'm going to take Sam's eyebrows here, cut them out. Going to create a layer above the Sam layer. I'm going to call it eyebrows. Paste them back. And I'm going to do a shape tween this time. Let's say at for 4 seconds right here. Insert keyframe. And for this keyframe, I'm going to sort of reshape the eyebrows a little bit. Lower them a little bit like that. Smooth it out with a smoothing tool. So we have, oops, there we go. You can just do it back and forth to see how it looks. All right, and for the eyebrows layer, we're gonna right click and make that a shape tween. So with your shape tween, you're basically contorting from one shape on one keyframe to the shape on the other keyframe. So this is if you want to do like a very slow um, multiple frame animation without having to do each single frame. I just basically drew 2 frames and now the software does the rest of the work, as you can see right there. I usually use shape tweens for like if I want an individual person growing like for muscles, I'll make each muscle into like a different shape and then shape between that. We could do the same thing with the mouth. Create a layer for the mouth. Keyframe at 4 seconds. Make that into a shape tween. And have her smile change ever so slightly because she's enjoying the smell. Let's see how that looks. All right. Okay. And one last thing we can do right now is give Luna a bit of an expression change. So we have her with her eyes wide open right now. Uh, at the 3-second mark right here, just as she lets go, we can change her expression. So click on her head. Oh, forgot to put 4 seconds here. All right, let's make that 4 seconds. Sorry about that. We'll insert a keyframe here. That's where she lets go. Oh no, somebody's crying. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's Luna crying. Oh, yeah, we can definitely give her that kind of expression. All right, so take out them big old eyes. Use our brush tool to make like closed eyes. Oops. Let me switch out the line so it's more uniform. Make the stroke a little smaller. Lock out all the frames so we're just focusing on the one with her face. Does Rig Puppets need rough keyframes before animating? Yes, you can absolutely do that. You can make rough keyframes and then animate the frames in between. That's what I'll do sometimes if I'm doing like a transformation. Oops. For this case, we didn't really need to do any rough keyframes. We're just moving one asset toward another asset, one rig into another. A little funny. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, is the mouth not on this frame? It's not. Which frame is it on? Oh, I put this on a different frame. Oh, that's fine. All right. Let's see. What can we do with her eyebrows? it look furrowed and angry. Mouth a little bit more. Kind of give it that bean shape that you see with a lot of simple cartoon characters. Oh no. And some details. Oops. Why is that line so big? Do 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 do. Oops. That's not what I wanted. All right. Switch that color. Show her teeth. That's so cool. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Keith. Hi, Abigail. I have to say, animation is so complicated. It's hard to keep track of the frames. That was my first time. So frustrating. Yeah, it can be pretty hard when you're using graphics and you're trying to keep in mind, every single layer, every single frame. That's why I like to keep things isolated. We have this isolated 4 seconds, so we're gonna put 4 seconds into each graphic, 4 seconds into each layer, and then we sort of plot out what's going to happen. You know, first 3 seconds, Luna's hanging on, and then for a few frames after that, she's getting sucked in. So that makes it like a little bit easier to decipher the frames. You have to come in with like a little bit of a game plan. Mr. Animator dude, are you making me remember when Lincoln met SpongeBob? Oh yeah. Well, I get lots of comments for the cameo. People love that. I like to try and add little cameo stuff like that, little references to other shows. But it especially works if it's in universe. I'm very much into that kind of stuff. Like I can see Mario and Sonic hanging out, but it's harder to imagine Sonic chilling out in Royal Woods. Though I did see some fun fan art someone did of um, Loud House characters hanging out with characters from Kid Cosmic, and I don't know. I think that works. That works well. They've both been on Netflix. Why not? Which looks better? That's another thing when you're making cartoons. It's like little lines. They can be tricky. All right, definitely looks better like this. Bring it down a little bit. Lisa Loud and Lincoln Loud are here. Hello, you two. And Tootie has a very cute name too. Who said that? Marzena? Marzena. E so then I have tears. That would be too cruel. No tears. Have you played Crash Bandicoot? I've I played the Crash Bandicoot game, the very first one, for maybe 10 minutes at a store. Where when I don't know if they do that anymore, but they had a demo version of the game at Sam's Club, I think, years ago, before I was even the animator. And the game was somewhat impressive, but I haven't really played any Crash games. And now you can see we've added the expression change when she lets go, which makes it better. Let's see. Is there something somewhere here that shows how long we've been streaming for? Has to be something somewhere. I don't remember what time we started. I wanted to keep this under an hour. 51 minutes. Okay. Oh, so we made pretty good time actually. So, not really sure what else we can do with 8 or 9 minutes. If anyone can think of something that we can add. Oh, the little flower thingies here. I can animate those ever so slightly. So, gonna click on the parts for, is it the pistol? The piston? Create motion tween for that. Create a motion tween for that. Um, I'll add sound effects later in post. Just because my sound library is very poorly organized, and I didn't think to organize it beforehand. But yeah, we'll add some sound effects like maybe vacuum sound or like loud wind rustling for Luna's sorry, Sam's nose winds. All right, got a nice sway going with these flower parts. Mod note, please check out our Patreon. Thank you. Oh, we could have the flower, individual little flower petals movement. Do, 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 do. So again, creating motion tween for each one. Keyframe at 4 seconds. Another keyframe at 2 seconds. Say, Mr. Animator, I think during the Stella Shrinks finale, Stella will... I'm gonna stop reading there just because the Stella Shrinks thing is actually something that's being commissioned. So we have a script writer for that one, and they perhaps already have their own take for what happens. All right. So we have our flower petals sort of moving inward toward the nose right here. And for the shade layer right here, we could actually do a shape tween since the shape is changing of the flower. So we're going to add a keyframe right here. Everyone can see the little shade right there. Going to make that into a shape tween. And then we're going to adjust the shape of the shade layer ever so slightly so that it conforms with the new shape as the flower petals move inward. Let's see how that looks. All right. Yeah. What is your favorite video on the channel? Favorite video. Oh, that's hard to say because I do so many videos with so many characters that I love. I enjoy all of them, really. Do you hate the Loud House episode? Brawl in the Family? Which one's that? Brawl in the Family. All right. Can you make music videos to my tracks or songs in the style of the Loud House? I'd have to listen to them first and maybe reach out. But we do already have a music guy on our channel that makes some music video stuff. It is better than smelling a rose on a spring day, am I right? That is right, Mr. Hurley. Oh, I love that episode. That one's so funny. Lincoln, if I remember correctly, Lincoln doesn't understand sisterly politics and protocol. All right, we're just going to animate this one last little bit right here. This move up here. Luna moves with it here. Yeah. Thank you for being understanding. I don't know why I like that episode. I know people don't like that. They think Lincoln is doing the right thing, maybe, and that the sisters are overreacting, but everyone has their own way of dealing with problems, and sometimes you just got to respect differences. Yen's here. Delete the music. Yen, why you gotta be like that with our music guys? All right. And here's our animation. 1 hour, and we got 4 seconds of animation. Not bad. All right. I want to thank everybody for sticking around, listening to me, listening to each other. I'm sorry, Lincoln. It happens sometimes. But you're good at other stuff, like magic, and being the man with a plan. Take a tour. I don't know if Sid would want to have people doing tours like that. That sounds more like a Rick and Morty thing. I love that episode so much. Um, last little note. First of the month, next month. That's usually when we get our new Patreon patrons asking for new animations, new rigs, new assets. So I'll take a look at what people are asking for on the first of next month, April 1st. I'll pick a few that I really like, and we'll do a poll, and then we'll see from the poll results which one of those I should animate live, like we're doing today. And again, it'll be a short 4-second thing. Um, Let me see actually. Do I have it set here or here? Where do I have that set? Um, oh, sorry. As I was saying, we'll do a poll. We'll decide what's getting animated, and then we'll do another live stream like this. I was trying to show off an animation, but I don't think it's popping up. How do I show that off? Ah, next time. All right. Thanks again, everyone, for dropping in. Thanks for checking us out. Um, we're going, like I said, to do a poll close to the beginning of next month. We'll decide what I'll be animating then. And yeah, we'll do another one of these. I think our animation tutorial stuff, these go pretty quick, just an hour. Last time was 2 hours just drawing Haley Banks. Um, so yeah, thanks for being here. We will do this again sometime. Thanks.